Saturday night special edition live from the basement here in the waiting room. And tonight my guest is one of my best friends in the whole world. Gosh, sir,
Hey,
Robert
nice to be here.
Millington.
Yeah.
Millington, if you know the sub name, that's English, right?
Yes, yeah,
All
very
right,
English.
right. So Robert, if you have any English people out in the audience, which I know last week we had a lot of English people writing in, so if you have any questions, Robbie's our English guest. So tonight, let's start it off with we had an amazing flight.
We did. It was a perfect flight tonight. We didn't go too far, but the leaves are starting to turn nicely, and
Yeah,
got to check out a new airfield.
I flew 2 flights, 2 different gliders. I got the Cat Piss glider and the new Da Vinci Jazz. That was a good one. But since Robert's our guest here, I'm going to hand over the stage to Robert and have him tell us everything there is to know about Robert.
Oof,
2 minutes.
That might be asking a lot.
Well, related to paramotors and
Paramotoring.
stuff. And
Well, the journey with paramotoring actually started with you. Well, back in 2018, I think was when we started. I started flying and learned here in Green Bay. Did actually split the training into 2 parts. It was the fall of 2018, and then I finished in, I think, May of 2019.
it was a while ago.
Yeah, it feels like a different lifetime. But started with flying here, and then we've had some pretty epic trips since I learned. Then we flew in California, went flying in Florida. That was a lot of fun. Florida was cool, but nothing like glamorous.
The coolest flights I've ever done were in Florida and California, and you were with on both trips. Me, Robert, and Ben. If you know Ben Pekacek, DJ Ben Titanium, the 3 of us were quite a trifecta of flying partners. So Robbie and I, he went from this homeschool kid that walked into the Blackhawk booth and said, "Hey, I'm going to spend a boatload of my money on a paramotor. Should I get one?" And I took Robbie under my wing and said, yeah, this is a good one to get. Still flying the same one you bought today.
Yep.
And later in the episode, we're going to get to pitfalls and troubles. So, along the journey, there's a lot of things. So, move on. Keep continuing on there from paramotoring.
So
you kind
from
of got into
paramotoring,
kiteboarding.
yeah. So I got into kiteboarding because of our paramotoring trip. We went down to Florida, checked out the area of Cocoa Beach, and liked the area so much, moved down there. And I had started kiteboarding even before powered paragliding back in 2012. And so I brought all my gear down when I moved down to Florida and started kiting. Kited there for about 3-4 years, and then liked it so much I thought, hey, why not teach it?
And just as a side story, when you were in Florida, you were a mailman, right?
Yes, yeah, and in Wisconsin as well.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
I transferred down to Florida and continued doing the same thing.
What do you think about that profession? Respectable, huh?
I definitely respect the people that can do it every day in and out without going completely postal. Like, it's definitely a rigorous, repetitive, same thing.
Well, what
every
about
day,
like
but
20 years ago? When you think back at the postmen of the 80s, the 20 years ago would have been the 90s, 50 years ago.
Back then, I think it was definitely a more honorable profession than it is now. Now you're kind of a glorified Amazon delivery driver. Actually, my grandfather, who was a fighter pilot, was also a postal carrier. Back, probably
people
in the
were
70s,
excited
but
to see the postman. The postman will walk up, be like, "You get packaged letters." Now you got they're coming in from everywhere.
now you get junk mail and Amazon packages.
Right. Yeah. Good stuff. So kiteboarding. You traveled around the world kiteboarding.
I have. I wouldn't say all the way around the world, but I have traveled a bit in the last couple of years. From Florida, I took a job out in Antigua, which I'm not sure if you guys know where Antigua is. Basically, if you go from Florida and about as far east as you can before the islands start going south towards Venezuela, it's right in the middle. It's basically right in the middle of the Caribbean. And
out there.
So I found a tiny little school there in the Caribbean and taught there for 6 months last winter, and I liked it so much, went back again this previous winter as well for another 5 months and taught kite surfing there in that beautiful location. It's very, very
Kite surfing
beautiful
and
island.
paramotoring.
Yes,
They
perfectly
overlap.
They do in the sense that they're complementary. They're not good side by side sports. Like if it's too windy for powered paragliding, it's perfect for kiteboarding.
Oh, yeah.
And for kiteboarding, if it's not windy enough, then it's usually really good for for power paragliding.
Oh yeah,
So,
complimentary.
yeah. In
Okay,
fact,
so but the
I
wind
did have-
control, just understanding how to put it away, the general knowledge of the sport.
It
Kinda
definitely
helpful?
helps. Like if you've done, I guess if you're coming from kiteboarding and you wanted to learn power paragliding, there's definitely some overlap. You will definitely the understanding the wind and just
Yeah, all
how
that
that
stuff,
works with a
yeah.
wing or with a kite. That would help if you're going the other way from powered paragliding to kiting. I feel like that would have a larger learning curve because it's quite a bit different. It's more like powered paragliding is more like aviation and flying an airplane. Kiteboarding is more like sailing and wakeboarding. So
Sure,
you have
yeah.
there is some overlap with the understanding of the wind and aerodynamics, but as far as the actual practical skills and muscle memory, you do have kind of a learning curve of getting
I
used
feel
to
like
everything.
it's, if you do anything, if you fly a kite, if you throw paper airplanes, if you fly an airplane, you're always looking at the treetops, the leaves, the terrain that you're in, and the forecast.
Yes.
And that's primarily what you care
Yeah.
about no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's always going to be those things. How
Yeah.
much wind is there? How good of wind is it? All right, so now we're at the part of the show. We're going to go on a little commercial break, give our sponsors an opportunity to chime in there. All right, nice. Good start.
Yeah,
Good start. I like the show. We got a lot of sponsors on here right now. So, boy, that was a good flight tonight, huh?
Yeah, it was perfect.
All right.
Would have been nice. I wanted to
want a
the
beer?
windmills.
You need a beer or
No,
anything?
I'm good.
I saw
got-
you were
I
heading
have
towards the windmills.
Yeah, I want to go all the way, but because of the wind direction, I was afraid you get a ton of turbulence as you got closer.
Well, we were still a
So-
long ways away. I was following you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't catch up, and then Corey turned around. Hey, we got to get back. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And ready? Hold on. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, and now it's a part of the show that I like to call the theoretical moment. And here's the theoretical moment tonight, Robert.
Okay, what is it?
You're in an urban environment. Okay? Urban.
Okay.
Yep. Buildings. Disaster zone. 5 silverback gorillas are out there, and they're trying to attack you. You're in,
Okay.
maybe like a 2-block range.
They escape from a zoo? Like where they come from?
We don't know in
Oh,
this
okay.
scenario exactly. They're more aggressive than zoo ones. Zoo ones would have taken off, so I think they're kind of like trained. They're coming to get you.
Okay.
So basically, you can pick one weapon to defend yourself from 5 rogue silverback gorillas in a urban area. You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds. You have a 10 mil? Which one's the 10 mil? This?
They both are,
These are both 10 mil?
but I would, yeah.
I think I would choose 10 mil. Ideally,
Hey.
though, I would have it in the handgun version, though.
Wait. Check this
Because
out.
you can climb a tree, if you think about it.
Look at this. If you wanted to, you could do 10 mil 50-round drum.
Yeah, could do that.
Just think about it. Here.
But I think I would want something lighter weight, because then you could climb trees and get away from them, because that's probably one of your only safe...
yeah, like you think you're gonna out-climb a silverback
Can't-
gorilla
I don't
into
know.
a tree?
Can they climb? I don't know how well they can climb, but I would guess
guys.
I would be willing to bet that they can't climb. that well.
Bears. They say bears. Robert says silverback gorilla. Give me something light. I'm gonna out-climb them.
I don't know.
I would stand my ground, get around a corner. Here they come. They're aggressive. They're running at you. Yeah. But I agree with that, Anyway, so that's theoretical moment. Let's bring it back to the show. We're in the second half of the hour. And I think now it's really, let's go back to the flight of tonight.
Yes.
New airport.
Yeah, beautiful location.
You
It's
were there last
perfect.
night.
Yes.
Corey
last
was
night,
out with us.
Last night was even nicer. I mean, tonight was very nice, but last night was even...
What I thought was amazing about the flight tonight was directly next to it was the Niagara Escarpment that goes from here to New York, all the way across, and it goes all through
really?
Door County. That's what that little area is.
Okay, I didn't realize that came from so far
So
away.
that
Okay.
that is like the thing that has
Yeah.
traveled all the way across, and I don't know where it goes to. The Ice Age Trail is part of it.
Yeah.
we were adjacent to it.
Yeah.
Took off and it was right there and beautiful. But it's typical Wisconsin. I think the coolest thing about tonight was getting to see over the Bay of Green Bay to the south. And yeah, you were heading towards the windmills.
Yeah.
On the way there, I saw this giant thing where it was like they put all the manure into the field. Remember
Oh, yeah, the
that?
spreaders. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they used the tires They like cut tires in half and they cover the piles of silage with this white plastic and put tires on there.
Oh, that's what
It
that
was
is.
so
Okay, yeah.
huge. I flew over the top of it. It looked like looking down at a bowl of Cheerios.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was just all white. And anyway, but it was good to get out there with Corey too.
Yeah, we actually got all three of us again. That was nice.
Into a new airport. And
Yeah.
the east side of Green Bay has been somewhere. Wait, do we have any comments yet? We got to check on here. Let's bring it in. Rochelle! Oh my gosh, there's people all over the world. I didn't actually see any. Did we get any comments on here?
We did. Someone said the ape would win all day.
Oh, we need, yeah, there you go. The ape would win against us all day. The 5 of them.
If we could get close enough.
But I think they're so strong. You don't just.
Oh, they're strong. Yeah,
Chances are you miss them once or twice.
yeah. That's why.
If there's 5 of them.
Like the 10 mil with a decent scope, at least you could shoot from a distance if you could get far enough away.
We have more comments.
Yep.
Yeah.
Corey Runk says, always great to fly together.
Oh,
Likewise.
Corey, thank you for taking the videos tonight, too. When I was up in the air and you see somebody on the ground recording you, it's always kind of like, well, I might as well do my dumbest stuff now. That's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you didn't see the previous video, I put a YouTube short out today when I was coming into land. I was just kind of gooning it a little bit. And yeah. Anybody else on the internet commenting?
We have 3 watchers. I wonder where they're from.
Ooh, where could the watchers be from? Anyway, hey, let's get back to it. We got what are we at here? It's a 20-minute show. We're at 11 minutes. We got 7 minutes left. So, Robbie, back to kiteboarding. Get into the story.
So, I mean, if you wanted to learn, Wisconsin is definitely not the easiest place to learn. You can. That's actually where I learned. I actually learned back in 2012 on Lake Winnebago. There's a small windsurf and kiteboarding shop down there. My first lesson, I showed up. I drove like an hour and a half down to the windsurf shop, showed up, and he said, well, there's no wind. So he's like, so he told me that, yeah.
Being from Wisconsin, I've never heard anybody say, let's go learn how to kite. I didn't even know it was a thing you could do here.
I didn't know either. I scoured the internet back in 2012 when it was still a very new sport even then. And I found 2 other individuals along with that windsurf shop. So I did that first lesson. It was like only did an hour. He showed me how theoretically you could do everything, but we didn't have any wind, so couldn't do anything. But I found 2 guys. Can't even remember their names right now. But
Sigor and Igor.
No, it was like John and Jake or something. But anyway, they kited there in Lake Winnebago and sent them a message. They said, sure, we can teach you a couple lessons. I had already done a lot of the training, like flown trainer kites a lot and sailed and flown. So I was familiar with.
Have you ever, we're wrapping up the show here. Have you ever flown a paramotor or a kiteboard into a really precarious situation where you thought, I might have some difficulty getting out of this?
I would say with kiteboarding, I've had a few sketchy experiences, nothing like life-threatening or out of control, but I had one time in Cocoa Beach. In Cocoa Beach, we had about 10-foot waves. It was like right after a hurricane.
Sure.
And I lost my board. And when the waves are that big, you can't see anything. If you crash, you're at the surface of the water, basically. We have a technique called body dragging. You can look it up. So the first thing you learn after learning to fly the kite, you learn to pull yourself through the water. And we use that to get our board back. Anyway, I lost my board. Plenty of salt water in the process, but nothing too crazy. But I'm sure you have some pretty exciting stories with powered paragliding.
Me? Are you asking me about my best or worst flight?
Your best flight.
Oh,
I prefer to focus on the positive.
yeah, I would have to say, Corey and I always say the same thing. Like, what's your best flight? And he's like, this one, tonight. Tonight, you know, anytime that you get to go, tonight was kind of awesome. That getting to fly a new wing, it was like stepping from, a Ford Mustang to maybe like a Dodge Viper. You know, it feels like you could drive a Dodge Viper around easy peasy and not do anything crazy. But that wing felt like if I wanted to step on the gas, it would have gone over and over again.
Yeah.
And I was doing huge wingovers, the size like normally the big wingovers that I do tonight, without even any, I didn't even feel like any input. Once I started doing them, I just kind of leaned this way and pulled a little bit.
Yeah.
It was totally different. So now knowing that, if I would have pulled about like 7 pounds, it would be over the top. But if I don't know what I'm doing and you pull like
Half.
6 pounds and you get up here, and then you're just like, this is bad.
Straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was even thinking today, I was like, I could probably crash right now and I would probably just crash into the ground, be fine. And then you guys would come walking up and you'd be like, hey, and I'd be like, I'm fine, let's get this thing out of here. My theory still is I'm somehow going to hit the ground really fast, but be totally fine.
And how's the tip steering? Did you notice any differences with?
I didn't
from
really
the other
like
wing?
yank the wing
Yeah.
in like that. I didn't even have to. Like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
wild. So, any other comments? Anything tonight? It's Saturday night. Tomorrow is Sunday. Got off Monday. I think the conditions kind of change.
Yeah, I think Thursday we should be able to fly.
All right, so we might be back in the sky, and then I'll put out another video of flying tonight. I think we all shot a good amount of video. Corey sent me his, but it was a good old northern Wisconsin from Martin Aerofield.
Martin Aerodrome Airport. Yeah.
All right, we're out of here, guys. Let the credits roll. Rochelle, credits roll, and cut. Nice, good job. I don't know. I think people are going to be on to this.
I think we're still live.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to shut that off. And cut. Action.